Alright, hello everybody and welcome to some more Mania 4 Key World Cup 2024 action. We're back in the quarterfinals. This time the losers bracket. It will be our 16 seed Canada versus the number 27 seed Argentina, making it to this elimination round. Loser will go home, winner will continue in the quarterfinals losers bracket side. I will be one of your commentators, Toph Daddy, and I'm joined here by Sun Apple. How's it going?
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. It has been a bit since I have been back, and I feel like this is definitely going to be a bit of an interesting match. We didn't see too much from Canada last round, and I'm definitely interested to see how well they really ramp up this round, since I feel like this team really gets better and better as the tournament goes on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Their late game is definitely a lot better than their early game. You can even see that on some of the qualifier scores that they had, where the early game rise did not fare so well, but their end game rise very much did. And Argentina, one of the lower seeds, making it through to the quarterfinals. So an interesting matchup here. I'm really interested to see how Argentina does.
Yeah, I definitely am as well. They did look kind of shaky, very, very different from Canada in qualifiers, where they kind of struggled a lot more on that later game rise. So I think we're getting closer to that area, but not just there yet. So maybe they'll be able to, I guess, get closer scores to Canada. Though I will say they'll probably be favoring these lower half the pool with the LN, maybe some SVs if they're confident in them, or like a hybrid or two.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I mentioned Canada being very good at on the right side of things. They're just a pretty well-rounded team in general. I think we actually see a Protect coming around for Hybrid 1 from Canada, and then I believe Argentina actually protected SV2, which is interesting because their qualifier performance on the SVs was not as strong as Canada, so they must feel pretty confident if they're going out of their way to protect it.
Yeah, also, I mean, maybe they've just been, like, really practicing this SV2 just because they need to get this kind of, I guess, off-meta pick that they really aren't, Canada probably isn't really thinking about that much. Also, Canada is surprisingly banning Rice 1, which is kind of interesting. Maybe just doesn't want something too simple with this kind of core jack map.
Yeah, well, that's
or not core jack map. That's the stream. I'm sorry.
But still, I mean, it's been pretty common for the Rice ones to get banned. I would have expected Canada to kind of stick around the Rice selections, as their picks overall. Argentina doing a little bit stronger when it comes to the long note and hybrid side of things in previous rounds. So I would have been interested to see a potential like LN3 or LN1 ban there, but going to stick with Rice 1. Now we're just waiting for Argentina to ban something out. I would imagine Rice 2 maybe comes out as a ban here. I could see that, or I could see any of the three tactics really going away. I don't see Rice 3 getting banned.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I would say probably in terms of picks, maybe Rice 2. I personally would say probably one of the tech picks is more obvious, mostly like Rice 4, Rice 5, and we do see Rice 5 actually. A shorter map, so I guess maybe just doesn't want to have that misses. Like, kind of be a
big I mean, it's a minute and a half. One mistake is going to cause a lot of difference, and it's just a getting rid of any of these Rice maps probably would have been a strong bet for Argentina just to keep it around, and they will get their first pick as well. Ooh, it looks like Rice 5 wasn't what they wanted to ban.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know what... Oh, LN5? That's also interesting.
LN3,
hey.
Okay. LN3 is... Wait, this is even weirder.
Yeah, that's so weird. I feel like these are, like, kind of opposite. I would suspect Canada to ban LN and Argentina to ban Rice, but instead we see the other way around.
Alright, and we're actually seeing, the LN3 ban come out from Argentina and picking Rice 5 there. So going with the short pick against a potentially stronger Rice team in Canada, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I also do want to point out Canada's Hybrid 1 Protect is very interesting in my opinion, because I don't particularly see those too often, and I guess Canada is super confident in that really Hybrid 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a position where maybe they just know something that we don't, because obviously they're going to have their scores in their back pocket, but it is definitely an interesting decision, given that I don't think Argentina was really in a position to ban any of the hybrids.
Yeah, that is definitely true, but I guess we're here now, we're into Rice 5, we figured out all the stuff that was happening, and I think these will probably be our lineups for both of them. maybe, yeah, I think some people I believe May should be coming in for Canada, but I'm not too sure.
That's what I would have guessed. And we're actually seeing a few swap outs now. Gire Sunny staying in, LS Nemesis, and Sawdust Inhaler coming in for Canada. And then Girl, Nubbo, and Hakitsu being the team for Argentina. So a couple of swap outs from what we saw. But Maya still not coming in. So maybe just... Actually, that is interesting, Maya not coming in for a Rice pick.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't suspect it. Maybe they're kind of having trouble with consistency on this map. As he said earlier, one miss really... I guess it really tanks your score by like 10, 20k, honestly, on this map.
Yeah, there comes a certain point where accuracy is not going to be as important on a map like this, and if you have players who are maybe not as strong accuracy-wise, but can consistently keep combos on it, that might be more, beneficial to overall team score than just having good accuracy, especially if you miss once or twice.
Yeah, and no swap outs so far. I guess these is going to be the lineup for both teams. And a good luck, have fun went out, so I think it's going to be now. Really excited to see this first map from Canada versus Argentina right now, and here we go.
We actually see Nubbo going with the hidden, so taking that the visual mod there, and Mirror coming out for Nemesis, so maybe a little discomfort to be seen from Nemesis, but still being put in over Maya there. And so there has to be some level of confidence coming in, but that is an early miss from Nemesis there right out of the gate. Going to give Argentina a very slight lead at the start here.
Yeah, although they did miss at the literal first 4 notes, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Definitely would prefer to miss early on rather than later, but we see another one, and that's really going to give that lead over to Argentina by a lot. They're just kind of running with this lead right now, and this is very short. We're already a fourth of the way through.
Yeah, we are a third of the way through. The no count of this is not very high. 15,000 points can swing over very quickly. Both of LS Nemesis and Mrs. were before 400 combo even hit from any of the players, so there is still a little bit of hope if Argentina does see a few misses, though the accuracy on the Argentinian side also very strong, having a very slight lead, largely due to those 2 early misses from Nemesis.
Yeah, and really these 2 misses have just been such a big deal. I believe, though actually, I think even if they didn't have those 2 misses, Argentina, just with their act, as you were saying, is still going to have this lead. Though we can still see a miss in this later section from Argentina that can swing the lead over, since, I mean, 10k isn't really that much, or 20k isn't really that much, but we're coming up to the end of the map and it's really not looking that well. And with Nemesis taking 2 more misses, I think this is going to be sealed.
It is. It's going to be 5 full combos across the board, just a few misses from Nemesis there, but a very good team score from Argentina there, a V1SS from Hakitsu as well.
Yeah, very impressive scores. Hakitsu really doing well. Same thing with Sawdust Inhaler. 2 200s, though, having the best ratio in the lobby by far. And now it is time for Canada's pick. We were a bit surprised to see Rice 5 being chosen from Argentina, but it really worked out well for them. Maybe Canada is actually on the back foot with these Rice maps. And if so, maybe they'll be actually going for these LN and hybrids. And we actually will be seeing Hybrid 3 right now, Dragonlands coming out.
Yeah, this is another pretty risky one. This one is on the longer side of things. I think it's just about 3 minutes long. So there's a lot more material just in general for the map, but it is also extremely easy to choke on so many of these patterns. Super burst heavy and has just those long notes interwoven between the bursts. I mean, it's a very direct sequel almost to Hybrid 3 from the Round of 16, which had a very similar structure with the bursts and the long notes kind of just interrupting the streams.
Yeah, that is definitely true, and I feel like kind of that more awkward sections of this map really will be able to help Canada to take this point more easily. Since I think Argentina kind of struggles a bit more in kind of these technical patterns of the LNs, possibly. So Canada, if they are able to kind of get more FCs than Argentina, then they can definitely give them quite a bit of advantage and kind of help that momentum off from that first map.
Definitely could. I am interested to see how well these players kind of work with the map, though. There is, like we've been mentioning, I mean, it's so easy to choke. It could just come down to who's able to combo through these patterns better. And we did see Argentina able to hold on stronger with the speedy tech map from Rice 5, though we do see a different team coming out. We see Verdun coming in for Canada. So the player that was missing swaps out for this hybrid 3 pick. Argentina, though, stays the same. So they've got a strong 3-person core here staying in.
Yeah, maybe they really are just confident in these players to be able to play kind of everything, though. We will have to see if they ever play LN. This map could also, maybe their LN players are kind of struggling a bit more on the technicality of the Rice in this map, which is definitely a possibility since I feel like that happens with a lot of LN players. But we are seeing a MP start going out, and we will be starting our second map right now, Dragonlands by Sakura Burst.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to have a little bit of a calmer intro, so going to have an opportunity for the players to build up a little bit of combo. I think it might actually get to above 400 combo before a lot of the big material of this chart starts, so should be pretty safe from the misses in this easier sections, and everyone should be able to get up to that combo bonus before we start getting into some of the more difficult material here.
Yeah, these players are definitely going to have to really focus up once we get sets, easy sections, because everything really matters a lot. And also we do see Nubo again with the hidden, most likely just kind of feels better playing with it.
Yeah, likely just a comfort thing. So keeping the hidden there, all 6 players making it through that intro with now 700 combo above the combo bonus, and now the accuracies are going to start taking a few hits, but looks like Canada able to hold on very strong with the accuracy, but just barely ahead of Argentina for the time being.
Yeah, Argentina all around has really good accuracy. Hakitsu, once again, probably topping the leaderboard right now, though Canada's just having their lower tier players being slightly better. It's really just a matter of precision for all these players. Who's getting less 200s and I guess ratio a bit, not as much though.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see a couple of accuracy drops come from Canada, but all 3 players have a matchup against Argentina that they are winning. We see Nobu and Girl a little bit behind Verdun and Sawdust and Haler and Sunny. Actually, now more than keeping up with Hakitsu, finds a break, and that lead is now boosting heavily in favor of Canada.
Yeah, it's 8k right now and growing as Hakitsu gets to that 400 combo cap. They are getting there right now, so it'll kind of stop just a bit, but really if Canada just continues to stay consistent as they have in Argentina, slowly but surely lowering their accuracy, I think we'll actually see this grow to the point where Canada may be able to take 1 or 2 misses, and we are in this last third right now.
Yeah, another small break here. Hakitsu well above the 400 combo, so stopping the boosting of the score in favor of Canada. Still only about 9,000, but in the break, Hakitsu finds another break, and Canada's going to extend that lead, and now they are definitely in a position, Canada, that is to potentially break a couple of times and still hold on to a lead.
Yeah, Canada has just really this helpful backup that they can have just because of these misses from Hakitsu, and also something to note is that Hakitsu broke after getting 400 combo, and Nubo taking another one, although it is traded by Sawdust Enjoyer. I don't think it'll matter though since Argentina has had so many misses, and this 11k lead, Girl also missing. I think this should be good unless like a meltdown happens from Canada. I believe they should be able to take this point only with 2 FCs. Actually one, I cursed it. Verdun being the only one.
Yeah, holds on to that full combo. Exact nice score difference, 22,222. Love to see that. But Canada doing a great job with the 1 FC on the board. And Verdun with that FC is going to take the MVP of the lobby. But all 3 players on Canada actually beating out all 3 players on Argentina. So the accuracy and the combos coming in clutch for them there.
Yeah, I do wonder what Hakitsu's score would be without those 2 misses, since they had really, really good accuracy. Just really those 2 misses causing a big problem. And I feel like that second miss especially was kind of maybe nerve space, since it really was not really that too confusing in my opinion. So there could be some nerves coming out from this Argentina team, though that wasn't their pick, and it is only the second pick of the maps. So we'll have to see later on, and it is Argentina's pick. Maybe they'll be going for Rice again, something that they're more comfortable on.
Yeah, I mean, they took the point on Rice 5, and there's nothing really similar anymore to those two maps, Rice 5 and Rice 1 with the speed focus, but I could definitely see them going for something like Rice 6 could definitely be, within their wheelhouse and kind of moving in the right direction as far as like traversing this Rice pool and feeling more comfortable with the pool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I kind of feel like going for more simpler picks is probably not the pick. But they're actually going to be going SV2. They're Protect, so really taking it out right now. Definitely is very confident, I would assume, judging that they're picking it as their second pick right now.
Yeah, I mean, protecting it, picking it now as their second, going into the SV means they've definitely put into practice, but Canada is not a bad SV team as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them having put in the practice for both of these SV picks since they kept them open. They felt better banning out Rice 1 than they did banning out either of the two SVs.
That is definitely true, and I'm kind of interested. I feel like this is probably going to be a very, very close SV match, considering that Argentina, as you said, they didn't do too well in qualifiers, but if they're opting to protect it, they have to be doing really, really well on it, really, really focused on it this week. So, and I know Canada, as you did also say, another good SV team, so they have definitely been practicing this. I know Sunny is very good, and I know the rest of the team is very good at this SVs. So maybe they haven't been practicing this as much since they've also been focusing on SV1, but Argentina has mostly been focusing on this one. But we'll have to see as we get into the map right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's also something important to say about these SV picks in general is that, like, these are not... The SV pools are a lot harder than they were last year. And you're seeing this potential, like, dichotomy of these two SV picks where this one's supposed to be more of a memorization pick and SV1's supposed to be more of a reading pick. Usually would be easier to learn, but SV1 is very hard to, pick up as well because of some of the awkward patterns. So I'd be surprised... I'm not necessarily surprised to see the comfort coming out for SV2 from Argentina there, but very important to note that this is going to take a lot of practice to handle, and we're already seeing a few accuracy drops. Nubbo a little bit below the rest of the lobby here, and that gives a slight lead over to Canada to start.
Yeah, though we have really only started the map, so there's still a lot of time for Canada to take quite a few mess ups. And it is only a 5k lead. That is basically nothing. One miss or a few 200s really could swing that lead over as we get in. And with all these kind of, I guess, like slow downs, it can definitely trip you up even if you haven't been practicing, if you just forget. And we already see Burden getting a 100, and that's making this lead so small, and it's honestly flickering right now.
Yeah, this lead is very, very small. Looks like Ure Sunny actually dropping a little bit of accuracy as well. Dro and Girl holding up the fort for Argentina with that high accuracy, right around the same as Sawdust and Taylor. But it's just a slight accuracy difference now between Nubbo and Verdun that is giving that lead. But that's another 100 from Verdun. This lead is staying very, very small. Singular mistakes are enough to swap the lead over with how small this note count is. And Sawdust and Taylor will be the first one to find a break there and give the lead straight over to Argentina going into the slow section.
Yeah, that's really what Argentina was needing, and Sunny right there on that section really struggling to get really good accuracy, and that has increased the lead by so much. Nubo kind of actually doing better than Sunny with that break as well, and two misses from Canada is really, really bad. Argentina, 28, almost 30k lead at this point, has the opportunity to take a few misses if they wanted to, and every player on Canada has now broken with that miss from Verdun. So Argentina looking really, really strong on this map right now.
Yeah, not to mention that, Canada was holding strong with the accuracy for a while there, but now all three of their players below 99% after those breaks, and we still have Dro and Girl holding on to the 99% accuracies.
Yeah, and our client is struggling a bit, but we can really see how great Argentina is in this later half. Maybe they have been really focusing on the entire map, where Canada maybe has only practiced the intro, but as we get closer and closer to the end, 1/4 of the map left, this lead has just been increasing. I'm not sure whether this is actually the lead right now since we had that little mess up at the earlier section, but it's definitely probably in favor of Argentina considering the misses that Canada has had, and Argentina being a three-way full combo right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can call the whatever happened to ERA Sunny, a little bit of a damper there, but Argentina was so strongly in the lead, and they're still holding on to all of those combos, and we've seen a few more mistakes coming from the Canadian side as well. I don't think it would have mattered one way or another.
Oh yeah, definitely. And right now we're getting up to the end. Argentina is still with this three-way full combo. Girl with this 99.8 or 99.78. So insane. Almost at 99.8. Could possibly get it if they continue to have just such good accuracy.
Yeah, just very impressive scores all around from Argentina. It makes sense why they protected this pick here, I suppose.
Yeah, they really knew something that we didn't,
Whoa.
considering that.
1-200? I didn't know that was possible on this map.
Yeah, they really should have gotten that 99.8 without that 1-200. Oh, and it looks like Sunny alt-tabbed on accident, so that's what happened.
Oops.
It really wouldn't have mattered.
On the bright side for Sunny, it wasn't the biggest deal that happened, but still unfortunate. Better to happen on a map that they were losing, I think, anyways, than on something that would have gone their way, like on one of their own picks.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Every player on Argentina had a better score than every player on Canada, so no matter what happened, it was going to be fine. But now it is time for Canada's pick. Judging off of how well they did on a Hybrid 3, maybe they'll do the same as Argentina and pick their Protect with Hybrid 1. But actually,
LN2.
Yeah.
I mean, LN3 was banned by Argentina, so it makes sense to kind of go in this direction. It seems Canada is really taking the LN and Hybrid path to heart, trying to keep this up, and this is definitely the most comfortable LN pick in the pool. Between the LNs and the Hybrids, I think this is going to be the most approachable for everyone, even though the patterning in this map is quite difficult.
Yeah, definitely quite difficult considering just how dense it really is. It is 2 6 BPM kind of LN streams, hybrid or density patterns. So definitely not the easiest to pick up, especially, I guess, if you're not too accustomed, though. I feel like all these players on these teams are very comfortable with this kind of pattern of LN and probably this BPM, though we'll really be able to see how well these players will be able to play it accurately, honestly.
Yeah, when picking this map, you gotta kind of think about it pretty deeply, because even if you're like most comfortable on this long note pick as far as like long notes and hybrids go, I think it's fair to say that the other team will also be more comfortable on this. And I know Argentina has some quite good scores as far as the long note pools and, the qualifiers and like the previous rounds have been. So it's an interesting choice to kind of take this right out of the gate as far as like going into the long note pool and making sure that, they're sticking with their guns. But I almost feel like LN1 could have been a potentially better pick, especially coming out of that LN3 ban from Argentina.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I also do want to say this map is quite short at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And especially on LNs, if you mess up once, it's pretty easy to kind of have a chain reaction where you mess up a lot. Though as we start off this little intro section, Canada having a kind of big lead, I would say at 6K.
Yeah, 6K and all three players' accuracies trumping out the 3 accuracies from Argentina. So far, looking like Canada is very comfortable getting good accuracy on this density, but even with how dense it is right now, we still are waiting for the super dense parts later on, especially with some of those really difficult patterns with the dense kind of LN jump stream around singular LNs like that. Those are really the patterns that I think are going to be difficult to be consistent on, but Canada's still holding on to the accuracy, though it is a 6-way full combo right now.
Yeah, I will say the biggest difference right now between the two teams is Nubo, and as I say that, they take a break, but they had not the greatest accuracy, especially compared to all the Canadian players, around that 99%, and now they're right below it. So Canada really being able to have this really big lead because of that. And we're already halfway through the map. 30k is a significant amount. Canada has the opportunity, if they want to, they can take a miss or two and they'll still be fine.
Yeah, and where that lead off of that miss really skyrocketed. Novo's accuracy did not really falter too much with that miss, but the miss and the overall accuracy advantage for Canada really giving them this lead, and now they can probably afford 1 or 2 drops and still maintain a pretty strong lead. So they've got room as we're getting into the final few patterns, especially now that we're out of the main guy. The patterns start to calm down a little bit, and I think Canada should coast their way to another point here.
Yeah, they'll definitely be fine. 50k almost, and it probably will get to 50k by the end of this map. But I think Canada should have this pick and will most likely be thinking about their next one. And Korea taking that break definitely seals the deal if it wasn't already. It is now 2-2 tied up once again. Time for Argentina to pick, and maybe they'll go for a rice map.
I mean, given how well SV2 went, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just go straight into SV1, especially if they put practice into it.
That is definitely true. Also, I do want to point out Verdun's score, almost the 990, just barely like a few 200s away.
Yeah, Verdun and Sawdust Inhaler both just below that 990k range.
And now it is time for the moment of truth. What will Argentina pick? They have honestly quite a few options, I feel. Canada, I don't think it's easy for them to really predict what they're going to play at this point. So maybe we'll see something out of the box though. Maybe they'll pick like Hybrid 2 for whatever reason though. I think that's like impossible.
Yeah, I think at this point Argentina kind of just needs to stay away from hybrids and long nodes. I think it's either going to be that SV1 or they're going to go back into some tech. And out of the Rice picks available, I think probably either Rice 6 or Rice 3 would be my go-tos, though Rice 3 is super, super risky.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially, and we do actually see Rice 3. Here is the Korjak map. I feel like especially if they have Maya on Canada, they'll be kind of set to be able to play this, though we didn't see them in the first Rice map, so I wonder if they are here, honestly.
We'll have to see. We see two swap outs actually coming from Argentina. Hakitsu does come in. We saw them for the Rice, getting that double S on the Rice pick early on. Nemesis comes in for Canada. We're just waiting for a player to fill in that spot for Argentina, and maybe if Maya is here, waiting for them to show up. But we're not seeing any more swap outs from Canada as of now. And Dro does come in to fill in that last slot for Argentina.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure what's going to happen since I think at this point, if Maya hasn't come into the lobby, they probably aren't online and able to play. So maybe Canada playing a bit like nerf just because they don't have really their star Rice player.
Definitely possible. We're not really seeing any other swap outs right now, so we'll just have to wait for everyone to ready up and get into maybe the most approachable map of this whole map pool. I mean, we're going from LN2, a very straightforward kind of LN accuracy battle, into the purest Rice accuracy you can get. So kind of a nice little dichotomy going back and forth there.
Yep, and here we go. We see another mirror from Nemesis. I believe they did the same thing on Rice 5, so maybe they just play everything on Mirrored.
It's definitely possible. It could be. I've seen strategies where players will practice maps on just no mod, their regular version of the map, for the entire week, and then they'll go into the match and swap mirror on to get rid of any like mind blocks that come from muscle memory, and just so they'll still know how the map kind of goes, but their muscle memory won't have to like be tested too much, and any unknown mind blocks kind of go away. But we do actually see a very early drop there from Nemesis.
Yeah, and that really isn't a good sign. The same thing happened on Rice 5. So if Argentina does the same thing where they all FC, it really won't be too great since that early drop will matter quite a lot. Though we will have to see. I believe Argentina looking quite strong. Nubo kind of struggling a bit more in terms of accuracy compared to any of the Canadian players.
Yeah, a little bit behind there. Nemesis climbing up in accuracy after that drop, so looking for it, but just after 400 combo, Nemesis finds another combo break, and that is only going to increase the lead for Argentina. And that accuracy didn't really suffer too much. I could definitely see Nemesis keeping up with Nubbo for sure here. And Canada might have actually had a lead, but those misses being crippling right now.
Yeah, and considering how Korjak is in terms of like how accurately you have to play, it's really big, these misses. Though we do see a miss from Dro Although those first 2 misses from Nemesis really keeping Argentina in this, we will have to see a miss or 2, or quite a few actually drops from Canada for this lead to switch over, though 5k is very, very small.
Yeah, and Dro back up to the 400, but Novo is going to find a drop, and that drop is definitely going to be enough to give Canada the lead here, with a slight accuracy lead now in favor of Canada. 2 really high full combos, and Dro finding another break, finding a little bit of stamina issues. Potentially that's 2 breaks, and everyone from Canada holding on super, super strong right now. Nemesis making a huge comeback with that accuracy now above 2 players on Argentina.
Yeah, and Argentina just keeps on missing and missing. Really, the stamina has become an issue for these players. We do get a break right now, though it is at the end of the map, basically, so 18k has to be made up in this last section. Canada is going to have to do a lot to be able to lose this lead if they really wanted to, but I think it's going to be a breakpoint for the first time in favor of Canada right here, right now on Rice 3. We did say Rice 3 was pretty risky considering Argentina and how they are, and I guess this is why we saw so many breaks at the end.
Yeah, really good performance all around. We just 1/100 from Hakitsu does stop them, and that's actually, this is the most core jack score I've ever seen in my life. Nemesis with 68 300s and 1/102 misses. Dro with the V1SS outside of 4 misses. Hakitsu with a 1/100 full combo. That is the most core jack score I've ever seen.
It's either you double S or you missed. And there was no in between.
Did we have any 200s in that lobby? I don't think we did.
If we did, it was definitely like less than 10. I think there were probably more misses than 200s.
Oh, absolutely there were. Hold on, let me check really quick. There were 3 200s.
That's so great. I love Gorchak.
There were just about as many 100s as 200s. That's very funny. But we do see the Protect from Canada coming out, looking to establish a lead now after that breakpoint.
Yeah, and definitely this is probably a good pick for Canada right now, considering that they have this momentum from winning the last 2 picks. If they are able to take this one, Argentina probably isn't going to be feeling too great, honestly, considering that they have lost 3 in a row, even though it really isn't that big of a deal since they could possibly take a breakpoint later on. But it definitely doesn't feel good when you're in person playing.
For sure, and it looks like Argentina does want to take a timeout there. I believe they are allowed to, so we'll be getting a little bit of an extra period of time after this. Give Argentina a little bit of time to just kind of recenter themselves after losing that breakpoint.
Yeah, and considering how we saw Canada on Rice 3, or not Rice 3, Hybrid 3, this is definitely probably going to be in favor. I feel like those 2 are pretty similar. They're not like super similar, but I feel like they kind of have like a similar difficulty in terms of like LNs and Rice and stuff.
Yeah, this hybrid definitely more on the right side of things. It's also very straightforward. It's a lot more straightforward than the other 2 hybrid picks in this pool. A lot more focused on the jump stream and just keeping up with the speed changes, especially towards the end. And the LNs aren't super invasive for the most part, so it's just going to be about keeping up with the consistency on something like this.
Yeah, and we have been seeing quite a few drops from Argentina, honestly, in a lot of these maps. Everything I think SV2, Argentina has taken at least 1 or 2 misses on, and I believe Canada did struggle on Dragonland, though I guess everybody did. But even with that, they were still able to get like better accuracy and better like miscount compared to Argentina and that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll be getting the timer for the timeout here, so giving them a little bit of extra time.
Yeah, I really wonder what Argentina is asking for the timeout for. Possibly just like to calm themselves down, especially after that last map. They seemed like they were kind of struggling with the either nerves or just the stamina, especially at the end, where we really saw all those misses coming out.
Yeah, we could definitely potentially be seeing Argentina try and build up get some of that stamina back, give them a little bit of rest to, make sure that they're at 100% going into this map and looking to take a break point right back and even things out.
And I really wonder what Argentina is going to pick after this pick from Canada, possibly going back to the Rise. Maybe they'll do what we were thinking and going either SV1 or one of the more technical Rise with Rise 4 and Rise 6, I believe, which are still open. I think Canada probably has a much more simpler path to victory, which is focus on LN and Hybrid. They still have LN1 and Hybrid 2 open after this, and if by that point they will still have to take at least another breakpoint or like something to be able to win, but I think it'll be easier.
We see this timeout actually making people a little nervous. Iri Sunny actually potentially this break giving them a little bit too much time to think, giving themselves some nerves here before it starts. But the timeout does end, and we're finally getting into the sixth pick here. It's going to be Hybrid 1. Canada looking to establish a lead on their own pick. Argentina trying to crawl their way back to even with a break point if they can.
I believe in the breakpoint. I believe in the tiebreaker, which is possible between these two teams. Maybe Canada, maybe they're overestimating their ability on this, and Argentina is actually really good on these kinds of hybrid maps.
It's definitely possible. Like I said, this is going to be more straightforward pattern-wise than what we saw from Hybrid 3. So I could definitely see Argentina keeping up with this better for sure. But we already see a little bit of an accuracy drop at the intro. Novo just around that 99% range, with all three of the Canadian players and both of the other players on Argentina keeping up a little bit, faring a little bit better as far as accuracy goes, but everyone not really keeping up as highly in accuracy as we could have been seeing from some of the previous picks. All three Argentinians now just around the same accuracy, that 99.4 range, but the Canadian players definitely outclassing them in accuracy with everyone above 99.6 right now.
Yeah, although this lead is so small, just because it's mostly based off of accuracy right now, misses, which will most likely happen in this later half, and we already see one from Britain, is going to swap the lead over very slightly for Argentina. Maybe, actually, I'm not sure. It's looking...
Ooh.
Oh, another miss.
That is another miss. That's two misses from Canada. All three Argentinian players holding onto the combo. And with those two misses, that should give Argentina a way back in and should be taking the lead going into the second half.
Yeah, although this lead isn't really going over by that much, just because the accuracy deficit from Argentina, I believe they've still been struggling a bit more on accuracy. Nobo and Haikitsu having the same, which is very interesting, and Girl taking a break gives this lead right back to Canada, and this lead is going to be growing by quite a lot just because of how accurate Canada has been on this whole map.
Yeah, and that swung over really quickly. Girl already almost above that 400 combo, so the lead should stop increasing too fast, but the accuracy lead is still in favor of Canada, and Girl finds a second break, and now Canada with a quite established lead going into the last quarter. Girl not really able to handle the speed increase now. It looks like dropping yet again.
Yeah, and I believe with only a quarter of the map left, 30k difference between these teams, I think Canada still has the opportunity to break a lot to swing this lead over, but I don't think that's going to happen as we get less and less time in the map. These patterns do get quite a bit harder, but is it really going to be enough? I don't think so at this point. I think 35k is just too much to overcome. Even with that miss from Vernon, this lead is not going to be decreasing by that much.
Yeah, and that's another miss from Girl, so that's going to give Canada a quite strong lead, protected for a reason. Establishes that lead now 4-2. Argentina needs to get some momentum back.
That is definitely true. Nubo, I struggled a bit at the intro, but definitely ended it off very well. One of the only two FCs for Argentina.
Yeah, but overall, a very strong performance from Canada. Iri Sunny with a 987k. And even with that miss, Sawdust Inhaler actually almost beating out Sunny's score there.
Yeah, and even there, that miss was still just like it was a 50, so I believe it was just like a bad release at that point.
could definitely be, but Argentina's going to have to pick something. They lost on Rice 3 as their previous pick, so I would imagine that they would want to go into one of the tech picks. I don't think Rice 2 is really the pick they need to go for here.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially considering like how I guess these faster, not really faster, like these more simpler maps have been going. We used to see Hybrid 3 not really work out in their favor, and Hybrid 2, or not Hybrid 2, I'm talking about Rice. Rice 2 didn't work out in their favor, so I don't think Rice... My brain is melting.
Rice 3 didn't work out, so Rice 2 is not the best pick.
Yes. Rice 2 isn't the best pick. My brain is like melting right now. I don't know why. I keep on thinking it's like left to right. But we will be seeing Rice 4 here.
We will be going back into some tech. This one's going to be the more, the heavier of the tech picks. Rice 6 definitely more of a straightforward kind of pick with broken jump stream and all sorts of things like that. But this one just has such difficult bursts and mini jacks. It's really hard to be consistent on a map like this.
Yeah, and consistency has been something that has been a big thing in this match. Everybody really has been missing. And if Argentina is somehow going to be able to, I guess, not breaking as much as Canada, we haven't seen that kind of happen in these Rice picks, except for the Rice 3. I think there's a possibility for Argentina to take this point and then maybe take another lead as a result.
Definitely could be. We see Hakitsu coming in. They were in for the last hybrid as well, but Hakitsu and Nova were able to get the full combos on that hybrid despite having a little bit lower accuracy. I think they're just more comfortable with the Rice, so the consistency on Argentina has been quite good for these Rice picks outside of, the ending of that Rice 3, but even then their accuracy was very strong overall.
Yeah, and now we are going into the Rice 5, I believe.
Rice 4.
Rice 4.
One way or another, we're going into some tech.
We're going in.
And we actually see 2 mirrors coming out for Argentina on this. So haven't seen too many mirrors coming out overall. We saw Nemesis playing on mirror both times they were in, but other than that, we haven't really been seeing much.
Yeah, in Argentina, actually all going with a mod, which is interesting, since Nobo is opting to play hidden. But starting off, Argentina having a slight lead, mostly based off accuracy. Yuri Sunny not doing too hot in this intro, I guess getting a few 200s, which isn't too big of a deal since we are just starting, and this map is 3 minutes long, so there's a lot of places to be able to gain back that accuracy.
Definitely is, but all the players on Argentina really doing a good job of keeping that accuracy high. Sawdust and Taylor and Verdun actually keeping up very well with the Argentinian players. It's just Sunny being a little bit behind, but that is going to be a miss coming out from Canada. Verdun dropping that after the 400, so going to give full combo advantage to Argentina until Verdun gets back up to 400. But Girl does trade it back, so it's going to help Canada stay in it. The accuracy advantage now maybe getting closer to Canada, so this lead's going to shrink up real... Whoa! I think Kiza just got really lost there. That was a lot of accuracy drops there.
Yeah, that was definitely at least like 2 to 3 misses just alone. There was definitely more just like 200s and stuff going by, and that swings this lead over to Canada by quite a lot. 14 hit is definitely something that they can come back from, but with another miss from Nubo and a very, very dirty one. I was about to say just how clean these misses have been besides this too. But Canada, this lead has been increasing for their team by quite a lot at this point. It used to be like 5k for Argentina, and now it's 30k. And we're halfway through the map, or almost 2/3 of the way through, and Canada looking to really take this super well.
Yeah, the accuracy just staying very consistent, and the 2 full combos really bringing it up. Verdun making a little, recovering pretty well. Still a little bit lower on the accuracy side, but it is enough to be beating out all 3 of the Argentinian players for the time being. And that's another miss from Hakitsu right there, just after getting up 400 again. And that's not going to be good for them to try and get back into this match. Canada on pace to potentially get another breakpoint and bring it to match point here if they are able to stay consistent at this ending. 40,000 points is a big buffer here.
Yeah, and Girl did take a miss, and Canada still with these two FCs. It is so overwhelming for Canada right now. Even with any misses from Canada, I think they'll still be fine, especially with that other miss from Nuba. No full combos in Argentina, where Canada has two, and good accuracy on those at the same time. Everybody on Canada has been able to increase their accuracy, but just those misses early on and Hakitsu taking another one is really what's the difference maker. 50k lead for Canada on match point right now, and has the opportunity to play so many maps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they still have that long note. They still have LN1. They still have Hybrid 2 as well. So they've got a few picks that could really go well for them. And even if they're really feeling cheeky with it, they could just pick up that one of the last two Rice picks since they performed very well on this one.
Yeah, and 991, by the way, from Sawdust Inhaler on this map is actually insane. Only two 200s is that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. But Canada's going to have a pick of the litter a little bit. They are on match point. They have two breakpoints to work with, and Hybrid 2 is going to be the selection. So looking at Carry Me Away, very technical Hybrid coming out here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of, I guess, long jacks and also these shields that are just all over the place for this map where players can really struggle on hitting perfectly. And especially with how short this map is, it is only 2 minutes, so this map definitely can be a big thing if you miss at least once or twice.
It looks like we're actually not seeing any swap outs either. No one on either team switching out. So staying with the same spot, I mean, it makes sense. This is really difficult on the right side, even with how heavy the long notes are. The 175 BPM like mini jack tech like patterns and motions throughout the entire map are not easy to be consistent on if you're not like able to keep up physically.
Yeah, and it's looking like players are going to start. Will Canada get this point and get the match? This is losers bracket, so Canada will be going on to the next round, and Argentina will be eliminated if they do not win this point. So a lot on the line for Argentina right now if they really do want to stay in this tournament.
Yeah, a lot on the line, not just with this pick, but also the next two after this, if they are able to survive it. But they have to start here. And this intro not catching anyone too off guard, though the accuracies are dropping a little bit for Argentina. Everyone around that 99.5, but not too bad. Everyone above 400 combo, no one having any combo issues at the very least. But these technical patterns definitely catching people off guard, and that is two misses from Argentina. Girl and Nubo both finding a couple of misses apiece, and Girl actually dropping a lot of accuracy on top of that.
Yeah, and this lead, similar to previous maps, so large for Canada right now. They have so many opportunities to, if they need to, they can take multiple breaks. I think this is like 3 or 4, honestly, especially with another miss from Nubo, just as they were getting up to that 400 combo. And halfway through, this map is very short. Canada is still with their 3-way full combo right now.
Yeah, halfway through the map with some very strong accuracy. Vernon almost at 99.8. Really impressive for as abrasive this map is. And really impressive just to keep the combo in general. Hakitsu doing what they can, holding on to the accuracy and the combo as Sunny does find a break. All 3 players from Argentina holding now onto the full combo bonus as Sunny builds it back up, but they are going to have a lot of work ahead of them. Sunny finds another break, so it's going to shrink the lead just a little bit as we get into this ending long note section, which should be favoring Canada, but Argentina doing a very good job of holding on with the combos here as that lead stays right around 30,000, but they're going to need a few more drops. Sunny does oblige, finds another drop and a little bit of an accuracy break. This lead has gotten pretty small comparatively. Verdon also finds a break, but the lead's just not shrinking enough as we hit the last few patterns, and Girl trades that back, and it looks like Canada will be able to take the point on Hybrid 2 and complete the win for this match.
Yeah, good GG's for both these teams. Congrats to Canada. You're moving on to the next round of quarterfinals. Not just done yet. You still have one more match.
Still have to go through one more match to make it into the semi-finals round, but they've made it past one of their opponents. Argentina putting up a really good fight as well, putting up some crazy scores just in general, but unfortunately they will be eliminated from the 4Q World Cup 2024.
Yep. And do we know who Canada's playing? I believe it was like... Let me make sure.
I'm trying to check right now.
Okay, it is China. I was thinking whether it was... It's going to be at 4:30 UTC for everybody interested in watching. I believe that's going to be... Or 14:30. 14:30 UTC tomorrow.
Yeah, so pretty early for this side of the globe. For the Canadians, it's pretty early. For the Chinese team, it's going to be pretty late on Sunday, but one way or another, that is what is happening. I do not know if we have another match this block. We don't for the time being. Looks like our next match is going to be Brazil versus Mexico at 20 UTC, so that's about an hour from now, and we'll be coming back to see that match. That is a losers bracket match as well, so one of those two teams will be eliminated on that match, so not gonna want to miss it. Do you have anything else to say before we sign off?
Nothing much. I do wonder though if there's any way that we can support these teams.
I'm so glad you asked, because there is a way to support these teams. You can go to the Osu store and buy your banners. You can buy a banner for any team that you want, any of the 32 that made it to bracket stage, even if they've already been eliminated. And on top of that, you can buy as many as you want. So you can have all 32 teams on your profile with the banner. And on top of that, if you do buy the banner of the team that ultimately wins the 4Q World Cup 2024, you get to keep that banner on your profile for the next year. So very exciting. Go support the teams and go support our tournament here at the Osu store with our banners.
Yeah, I will say if you buy all 32, you have an 100% chance of keeping your banner at the end of this tournament. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, gotta keep it in mind if you want that 100% chance. But that's gonna do it for us. We'll be back in about an hour for Brazil versus Mexico. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.